Okay, part two. Okay, so just to kind of pick up where we left off, Sydney was born December 1st, 2016. Due date was March 22nd, 2017. And she spent 98 days in the NICU, came home on March 8th, 2017.
It was pretty dope. When they said that she gets to come home, they put it on a post-it. The nurses put it on a post-it, and the hospital that we had Sid in actually had this camera that we could watch the baby. We could watch her as often as we wanted to. We could, our family could, or whatever. So they actually had put a post-it up, and we saw it, and it said, "Come get her," and we were like, "What?" So it was cool. We got all dressed, and I was like, I gotta look nice, take my daughter home. So we both got all dressed up, and we already had the car seat ready, and we had the diaper bag and everything ready, and we had an outfit together. So we got it together and took some pictures in the hospital of us kind of like getting out of there, and that was it. March 8th was an amazing day. We've been told since she's premature that she shouldn't really interact with like groups of people, like not malls and churches and stuff like that. So it's something that we're definitely very cautious about, is having her in like huge rooms or huge groups with a lot of people and things like that. We're very funny about having her around other children because her immune system is still not where someone her age should be. So we don't really have her around. No, I don't want to say don't really have her around. She's never around once. She was around her cousins. But other than that, she's not around kids.
And the doctors in the NICU told us no daycare for at least the first year of her life.
Yeah, we have documentation that says that she cannot be in any type of daycare. So we'll tap into what we've had to do pertaining to that. So Sid came home for 2 days.
We'll talk about so the next day, she came home on the 8th, and then the next day
she needed her shots. She had to have her
the eye doctor.
She went to the eye doctor for them to check on her retinopathy of prematurity, and he was like, everything seems like it hasn't changed. So we're like, oh, we don't know if that's good or bad, but okay. And then she also had her shot. She had her 4-month shots.
Yeah.
Her she's not 4 months, but she kind of is.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, she had her 4-month shot, but she was like a couple weeks shy of being 4 months old.
Right. So she had her 4-month shots. And then so eye doctor, shots, and then that night, since she was out, kind of like in the element, people touching on her, we did.
Talk about the eye doctor appointment. So you understand
what happens with an eye appointment. There's this thing that they put in your eye, like to hold it open like that. Sorry, I know it's creepy, right? To hold it open like that, and then it's like a paper clip they put around it to see what's going on inside.
It really looks like a paper clip.
Yeah, it does. So think about that happening to an infant, screaming. I couldn't watch. I had to sit in a chair in the back because I couldn't see her screaming like that.
And I just held her so the doctor could do it.
Right, like it's crazy.
Stressful. Yeah.
And then what we did is we had a bottle ready for when he was done. We popped that bottle right in there and then just, it's sad, but it soothed the kid. So we did that. Like I said, the eye exam, her 4-month shots, and then when she came home, since she was kind of out in the element, we went home. We gave her a bath later on that day. The next morning, she's still trying to adjust to being home and in this type of space and stuff, and we're still trying to adjust to having somebody else to worry about because she was in the hospital for so long. We didn't really have to physically worry about caring for her, so now we did. So she got some sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I told my wife, just go get in the shower. I'm like, it's been hectic or whatever. Go get in the shower, go wash your hair. Just go ahead. I got her. So I was on my phone. I was looking for some stuff for the baby, and she was in her bassinet right next to me. And I rubbed her stomach or whatever. She moving around like, she's fine, cool. So then a minute or so later, I looked over at her and she wasn't moving or anything. So I touched her stomach again. She didn't move. She didn't make any movement, no nothing. So I was like, what? So I picked her up and I looked at her face, and her face looked like it was pale, and her lips were blue. So I grabbed her and my wife was in the bathroom and I brought her in the bathroom and I'm like, babe, I'm like, something's not right. Something's not right. So she goes, stimulate her. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm like this. I'm like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, sis, come on. So she goes, eyes open up again and she like starts breathing. So we like, what the what's going on? So I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what to do. So I called the doctor.
But she didn't know what to do, guys. Like she stimulated her. She knew exactly how to bring her back.
I didn't know what like now my next step is like, okay, let me call the doctor. So I call the doctor and this is her previous doctor. This doctor is no longer her physician. Call the doctor and they had said to me, I can get you an appointment at 1 or 2 o'clock.
I think it was like around 1 o'clock, and they said like 2.
Oh yeah, like something. And I was like, I'm like, ma'am, I just told you my daughter turned blue. What do you mean you give me an appointment? So I'm like, this is crazy. So I was like, you know what? I gotta take her somewhere where they know her, which is the hospital. So we get dressed. I don't even know if we both had the same shoes on. It was crazy. So I'm driving and Trinell stayed in the back with her. So we just wanted to make sure she kept stimulating her or whatever. So Trinell's hands were cold, so she just kept touching her to keep her going, keep her up. So we get to the emergency room and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I was like, I have a premature infant that was just released from the NICU 2 days ago, and she turned blue, she stopped breathing. They're like, what? So they look at her again, and she's in the car seat, and her lips are blue again. So take out the car seat, and I'm like, come on. So she got herself back together. So take her in, triage her, and everything, yada yada yada. So they're like, well, we need to put her in pediatric department. But the problem is she was only released 2 days ago. So putting her in the pediatric department with other children is not good because she's still very susceptible to different sicknesses and viruses and stuff that are in that unit. So through like enough, I guess, like talking and chattering, and even from the neonatologists that were in the NICU, they said, no, let's bring her back up here.
Because it had only been 2 days. I think, I want to say that it's like 3 days or more, then they definitely have to go to peds.
Right. So what they had to do was they brought her back into the NICU, but the terminology they use is horrible, but she's considered like a dirty baby because she's been out in the world. So what they had to do was they had to do like MRSA, like they had to check her for MRSA and stuff like that. So anybody who was in and out of her room had to have on full garb, like face masks, head covering, and they had to have on like scrub jackets until she was cleared for MRSA. So they did all the checks and stuff. The saddest part about the whole process was that she got a spinal tap that day.
Yeah.
Like, this kid is so strong, it's crazy.
It was so hard seeing her. Like, we just took her home. And to see her back in the NICU, and like, I started crying. Like, I knew she was okay because she was back, and I knew they took care of her, and they were going to figure it out and everything. But it was just,
even some of her normal nurses, we had actually corresponded with them to let them know what was going on, and they came to see her too. So the other thing is that her veins, they had always hit all her veins for everything that she needed, so all her veins were spider. So it took them a very long time for them to find a vein that they were able to
get the IV in. We had to leave. Like, we
was
left
in there
to let them do their thing because
screaming. They had to. What they did was they had her in a dark room and they had a light, one single light that they had to put over her to try to get a vein, and they had to call different nurses to try to find
like 4 of them, right?
It took 4 different nurses to try to find a vein that they were able to function with. So but they did. They got it, and they kept her there for 2 days. 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days.
Like that.
They didn't find anything wrong with her. There was nothing they could say, this is why this happened.
No infections.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. They just think that maybe, it was just too much that happened the day prior that just kind of got her worked up. So, with that scared the crap out of us. We took her home with we're sleeping like this. We're sleeping like this. So we went out and we bought the snoozer and we bought the owlet. At one point she had both on because we didn't even know which one was going to be better.
Yeah.
We didn't know which was the snoozer we use. I like the snoozer because it doesn't need to be connected to any Wi-Fi or any Bluetooth or anything. It's really just independent.
And then it vibrate or something. If
it
she stopped
stimulates
breathing,
the kid.
it would send a vibration or something to try
which
to
was
stimulate
cool.
her.
We like the snoozer. And then we had bought, the snoozer was $109, $100. And then there was the owlet, which is $250. So we bought the owlet and we put the owlet on her foot for, the first couple of days.
Week.
Yeah.
It's cool though because it gives you her heart rate,
right,
her pulse ox,
and we're used to monitoring that stuff at the hospital. So for us to see it on the phone was cool. There were a couple times we were like, "Hey, our pulse ox is low. Come on, kid, you all right over there?" But it was a great way to monitor. We still have it. When she's not feeling well or she's sick, that's when we really kind of pull it out just to make sure that we're able to catch some things. So it's cool that we have both. We got rid of the snoozer and we just kept the outlet. Yeah. She had that it's considered an apneic episode, but she hasn't had the apneic episode again. Knock on wood. Then
sorry guys.
A few weeks after that, she was having some issues.
Should be almost a month.
You wouldn't have to have the exact amount of days. A few weeks could be 12 or 40.
It was a question I was asking you.
I don't remember the dates. I gotta look at my calendar.
Was it the beginning of April? I don't. Yeah. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, a few weeks. All right.
Well,
sometime the month after.
I'm just asking.
I don't remember the exact date. Anyway, so what happened is she was having some issues. You could see where she was breathing. There's a little bit of a struggle. And you would look at her across the room and you could see where she was just doing too much work. And you're like, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, yo, something's not right. I don't know, something's not right. So we talk it over, we mull it over, and I hate to be that hyper mom that's always trying to figure out what the hell's going on, but knowing how amazing this child is, I'm always inclined to make sure that we know exactly what's going on. So we decided to take her to the doctor again, and of course we get to the emergency room and they're like, you guys again? I'm like, yeah, no, we seem like those parents that just come here really often.
Sydney with the Y.
Yeah, yes, they call her. So, they ran some tests, ran an x-ray, and they found out that she had pneumonia in her lungs. She had pneumonia. She was only home a couple weeks. I don't even think it was a month.
And
I don't think she tapped a month yet.
And it's crazy that she had pneumonia because she's still no infection. They tested her blood and everything. She didn't have any kind of bacteria or viral infections.
But you just look at her chest,
they could see it,
and you could see.
They did an X-ray or
a chest X-ray.
Scan or something.
Remember they did the chest X-ray when they came into the room?
No, I was saying it was the X-ray.
Yeah, it was an X-ray.
Yeah, so they could see it on the X-ray.
Yeah, and they actually showed us where you could see the whole the buildup in her chest from it. So, she went on an antibiotic. She was cool after that antibiotic. Couple weeks later, what was up? What was going on?
It was. Was it even that long? I feel like it was not even a week.
Oh yeah, it was a week later. Yeah, actually, it was a week later. A week later, she
still wasn't breathing.
Nah, but she sounded like she was like a chubby man running
That sounded like
she was doing too much work.
And maybe she had something in her nose, like a whistling type of sound.
It just sounded crazy. So we took her back to the emergency room. And, we know the emergency room doctors now, so we on a first name basis. because they actually know us from the NICU and stuff. So the majority of the hospital actually knows us, which is pretty bad. And then, you know, there's not too many families like this in the area.
Yeah.
So we pretty much stand out.
Rare.
Pretty stand out.
And especially ending up in the NICU and all that.
Yeah, we're known around
pretty
here.
rare.
We're known around these streets. Okay? So
yeah. Oh wait, sidebar. They called us the moms.
Yeah, the moms. We were known as the moms.
As the moms. Okay, go ahead.
So took her. So they saw her again, and they said that they were concerned about like her trachea. Like the way her trachea, I think it's like this, and then there's something that's pressing.
No.
What was it?
They did that test to see if that was the case.
What?
Okay, so your esophagus and your windpipe should be, you know, open. Okay. Now for Sydney, when she's like laying like on her back, they kind of collapse.
Right.
So she has something called laryngotracheomalacia. And so it's basically that the larynx and the trachea kind of collapse when she's laying flat. That's what we were hearing. And that's why it seemed like she was struggling to breathe a little bit more. We were concerned maybe the pneumonia was still there, but that's not the case. It's just that she has that. And they said that, you know, eventually she'll outgrow it. It's just being born premature. Those things didn't have a chance to fully develop. Yeah.
What happened, the reason why we have actually went back to the emergency room that time was because I had tried to get an appointment with the pulmonologist, and the pulmonologist was making me wait a week. So it was like a Thursday or a Friday, and I'm like, my kid ain't right.
You're not making her child wait a week for an appointment.
No, I'm telling you, my child's sick.
Exactly.
I'm telling you something's not right. You're not going to make me wait a week. So I called them, like, do you have any cancellations? I need to see the pulmonologist. They're like, no, we don't have any cancellations. Okay, fine. Emergency room, here I come. So I know if I go to the emergency room, they're going to have to do a consult with the pulmonologist. So what happens? I go to the emergency room. They consult the pulmonologist that I have an appointment with on Monday. Because that's why you deal with a hospital. You deal with all the doctors in the same network because they all know each other.
Yeah.
So they consult with him. He says, all right, you know what? Put her on a nebulizer of Atrovent. So right now, I have a almost 6 month, but at the time she was
4 weeks, 5 weeks from her due date.
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks from her due date. So we actually have like a nebulizer with Atrovent, and we have to put this mask on her face and turn it on so she could get like, what was it? Not even a milliliter.
It's like 1.25.
1.25 milliliters of Atrovent, and she can't stand this thing on her face. She's miserable with it, but she doesn't. She's not doing that anymore.
We do it about 3 to 4 times a day.
What we were doing, we were doing the nebulizer, but they actually gave us now the
a pump inhaler
with the canal, with the what's it called? The what do they call that thing? You have
chamber?
One. Yes.
Chamber?
That's it.
Okay.
She has a inhaler with a chamber. So basically the purpose of the chamber is when you spray the inhaler contents in the chamber, it sits in there until she breathes it in.
It makes it easier because like if you've ever used an inhaler, you have to angle it just right to try to spray it and breathe in at the right moment and get the medicine in, and probably 90% of the time you spray it on your tongue or the roof of your mouth or whatever.
Right. It doesn't get in like that.
This way you're able to inhale it, completely into your lungs and get it where it needs to go. Well, for her to get it, through her windpipe and everything.
So that's like from the respiratory standpoint, kind of like what she has going on. She's not in bad shape. She's fine. She's starting to, we're watching her outgrow a lot of things that were concerns prior. So she's actually, and that was always the biggest concern. She just needs to grow. She just needs time.
Yeah.
That's why she's currently on NeoSure 22 calorie.
Formula, Similac formula.
Right. I'm against it. I think that it gives her really bad acid reflux. But my doctor will not allow us to change it.
But then we don't know. It's hard because we don't know if it's really that, if it's just the fact that she's a preemie, because preemies have reflux.
Yeah.
Is it the laryngeal malacia that causes like it's so many like it's so many things like
we don't know what
we
it
just
is.
don't know.
Right. So we know like right now she has really bad acid reflux. She's currently on Zantac. She takes Zantac twice a day. 1.6 milliliters of Zantac. We just had an increase. She was at 1.5.
It seems to be a little bit better.
It does. I agree. Right? I agree. It does. We increased the dosage of the Zantac, so she's her reflux is gotten a lot better. She at one point we would feed her and she would be screaming in pain, screaming. Like I hated feeding her. I'm like getting better with it, but I hated feeding her because she seemed so miserable when she ate.
Now she screams when you take the bottle out because she's not finished.
But the cool thing about this kid is that she's been on these bottles for so long that if you're not holding it right, she'll just hold it for you. I have pictures and video. This kid will hold her own bottle.
She'll hold your hand.
So you can position it right. Yeah, she's a little sassy. So that's what's going on from food standpoint, respiratory standpoint. But like I said, her heart is good. She had a murmur, but I think that's
kind of so minor. They said
it's not even that serious,
and it doesn't even show up. Like when they like monitor her heart, you don't even see like a skip and a beat or anything like that. Like
that's
so
pretty
it's really
good.
Minor.
So as of as of right now, Sid was born 1 pound 9 ounce. She is currently
last week she was 10 pounds 14 ounces.
We have a scale here. You know, with numbers over here.
No. There was some inconsistencies
with the different doctors and stuff. Right. So we needed to know for sure if she was growing staying on the growth curve.
I just want to make sure that she's gaining weight because we don't go to the doctor that often. So once a week, I weigh her on the scale in the house. And when we go to the doctor, then we see she's on track and my scale is pretty accurate.
Right. So she was 10-14 like last week. And
Sunday or Monday, I can't remember when I weighed her.
And today is Saturday, so we know tomorrow when we weigh her,
So
we're gonna do a little bit.
If she
10-4, no 11-4.
I'm gonna say you're probably about right because she's been gaining about 6 to 7 ounces a week. So that's probably right. So I'm just going to go one above you. I'm going to say 11.5.
And the reason why the gain is the way it is because she's on a higher calorie count of formula. Again, I feel like this formula is just like it's just not making her all that happy. But because it's the highest calorie count, that's the one that she's on. There are different versions. There are different formulas out there that are a little easy on the system. Like there's Almentum. There are some that are not cow milk based, so there are different things out there, but again
our doctor is like no NeoSure because it's 22 calories per ounce.
And we need to keep her on that growth curve. We need to keep her.
So because I think she's probably about I want to say she's like 50%, like the 50th percentile.
We're gonna find out. We have an appointment next week.
Yeah, so she's getting there. She's not, she's
not there, but she's on her way there.
She's getting there. Yeah. So I understand why. And I've looked into some of the other formulas too, and they're only like 20 calories.
Right.
Nothing's
been easy an option for transition. So.
And NeoSure, it's specifically made for premature babies. So.
What we do is we have the powders that we have. We get the powders. Luckily, we don't necessarily have to worry about the cost of that. We were provided with a couple of those, so we have those. There are the Ready Feed bottles, which are easy on your life, especially when you're taking a kid out. They're normally about $10 for 8.
Ideas.
I try.
Swear.
Thank you. They're about 8, come in a box, and then all you do is just take the top off, and they have Ready Feed nipples. You just put one of those on there, and we feed her in the car. We feed her on the go. It's been a pretty busy month for us, so we've been.
And honestly, this was our first baby, so I have no other babies to compare her to, but I think this kid is pretty great because like she eats anything. She eats the powder formula. She eats the ready-made bottles.
And
She'll eat the liquid formula. Yeah. She takes breast milk. She don't care. Just feed her.
Like right now, you hear this sound.
I don't know if you can hear it.
See if you can show her right now. There's no pacifier in her mouth. She simulates a pacifier, and it's a way that she soothes herself to sleep. So she
sounds like she's
right. There's
she's
no
sucking.
That's her.
She's not.
She'll soothe herself to sleep like that.
Yeah, and she'll do it while she's still sleeping.
As of right now, she can hold her head up. Which is pretty good. She actually did a little turnover on the floor earlier, which is super cool.
So the way it works, it's kind of for premature babies, is they have their actual age, which is based on when they were born, and then their adjusted age, which is based on their due date. So Sydney's actual age is 5 months. She'll be 6 months on June 1st. And her adjusted age is she'll be 10 weeks coming this Wednesday since her due date. So developmentally, we are supposed to go based on her adjusted age from her due date, so she'd be 10 weeks old, and we look at, what babies around that age, like what they can do, holding their head up or smiling or giggling or whatever the development milestones are. And then as far as everything else, like, her shots and stuff like that, that kind of stays along the actual age range. But it's hard with her because she does things.
She's advanced but delayed.
Right. Like, she's not doing what a 5-month or 6-month-old would do, but she's past, 9-10-week-old baby.
Like, if I'm holding her up right now and I have her feet on the ground, she'll plant them, and then she'll like move one foot, and then she'll realize that she's gotten further, and then she'll move the other foot.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's not independently walking, but she understands that if her feet are touching the ground, that they should be moving, which I think is pretty dope.
Yeah.
She does hold her head up. She smiles. She giggled the other day, which is pretty cool.
I swear she giggled.
So to talk about something that we had touched on in part 1 was the fact that she's not able to be in daycare. So it's hard because we sat down and we thought about, okay, if one of us could quit our job and just take care of the baby, that would just make more sense. That would be, more beneficial. Or if one of us would step down and do something part-time, that would work. I hate to say it's one of us because it would really have to be this one over here because my health insurance is what takes. We'll talk about that shortly.
I was just gonna say it's just great, amazing.
My health insurance is what has taken care of everything with the baby, so therefore me leaving my job right now is not really an option. So we talked about her staying home as something, but it's not what she wants to do, and we. If some things kind of rotate and flip around, maybe, because she's still working on her undergrad and I'm working on my grad right now. So if things kind of work out for us, maybe that'll happen. But we actually went on a couple of those sitter nanny websites, and we found, we interviewed a couple of people that were interesting, and we came across somebody that we really, really like, close to our age, great with Sid. So she hangs out with Sid 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we pay for a nanny.
Yeah. I mean, we both work from home, but like I said, I'm in customer service, so I'm taking phone calls. She's in tech support, but she's also a trainer, so she's, working with people, talking all day. We can't both take care of Sid throughout the day. Like if she's crying
or something like that, we can't just stop working and attend to her.
Exactly.
We tried it for like a week and a half, and it was
rough.
It was bad because we both had stuff to do, so we had to take.
Can you take her?
It was just bad. So actually having our nanny here is great. She's really good with Sid. She reads reads to her, sits on the floor, plays with her, talks to her. She maintains her room, maintains her clothes. Really great at communication. Lets us know what her feedings are like and all that. So really, really good.
Yeah.
I appreciate her. I really, really do. She's a little quiet. Where she's starting to open up, I guess, just building familiarity and stuff like that.
How long we got her? 2 weeks. Yeah, so I think she's starting to open up to us a little bit more. Yeah, so it's cool.
So she's cool. But and what we did with we ran her background check and we actually had her provide references and things like that. So we didn't just get anybody. And the other thing is that she's not home alone with her.
Right. We are here. So that it makes it a little easier because if something's wrong, we're here. If something happens, we're here. Sydney is not just with someone. We have her here with us so we can, check on her, see how she's doing. We can see her and, but at the same time we're able to work and, get our work done because we have the nanny here to, take care of her and tend to her. And Sydney likes her. She, has a good time with her all day. Like you said, she plays with her, sings to her, reads to her, talks to her. So, she has a good time. So, and honestly, having a nanny is not as expensive as you would think it is. You just have to
it depends on what you requesting and requiring your nanny to do.
That is
Our
true.
nanny has very minimal work.
We're not asking her to wash our dishes. Laundry. We're not asking her to clean our bathrooms. We're not asking her to do anything for us.
It is to maintain the child.
For those 8 hours, all you have to do is feed her, change her diaper, keep her entertained, and when Sid is sleeping, because she takes naps all day long, when she's sleeping, clean her bottles, fold some clothes, put her clothes away.
Give her a bath once a week. We are here for that. Don't get it fucked up.
Change her sheets, her crib sheet.
Yeah.
Everything that she has to do.
She doesn't even do her laundry.
No. We don't need her to do that. We don't. We just...
She folds and puts it away because what I will say is that my nanny has a system in there. I don't even like to go in there and touch shit.
She's very organized.
Yeah, I don't even want to touch nothing.
Honestly, sometimes I'll be like, well, where is... And I'm like, damn, that made sense.
But let me tell you, the cleanest room in the house
is the baby's room. As it should be.
As it should be. We still trying to get our lives together.
But that's what I'm saying. So, now, if you want somebody to do your laundry, put your laundry away, vacuum... sweep, clean, clean all that, then you need to pay them $20 an hour, maybe more.
Because we had one person that was asking for that amount of money, and I had to say, did you listen to what we told you needed to be done with the baby? She doesn't need that. She doesn't require all of that. Your services are not valued at such a steep coin. If we were leaving the child here and all this stuff had to be done, I'd be like, yep, so be it. But we're here. And a lot of times when we're here, we actually are like, this got to get done. And here, boom. We get involved. We're still active while we're home with the baby and the nanny. So we're not what we try to do is we try to stay away to just allow them to have an opportunity to create their routine. Yeah. But there's still some things that we still get involved with in the mornings. But what is very interesting is that the nanny comes in at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This one over here be waiting by the door at 9:59. As soon as their doorbell rings, I'm like, buzz in. Buzz her in, and she goes, here you go. She needs to be fed and changed.
She'd be like,
how you doing? Do you want a cup of coffee or something like that?
No,
this one be like, you got work to do, chop. I'd be like,
damn. I'd be like, here's Sydney.
Yeah.
There you go. You start at 10 o'clock. What you mean?
I be small talking.
But that's because, I'm already at work. I start work at 9:30. Right. She starts work at 10. So honestly, she's gotta,
kind of jump in.
She's gotta take her at 10 o'clock. That's it. I'm sorry.
So that's pretty much what's going on right now. Regarding Sid's great. She's good. She's just growing. That's all she's doing is just growing. We actually had to just get her some new PJs because She's coming out of 3 months.
She's 2, so she was in 0 to 3 months, guys. So we put her in the 0 to 3.
I did just wake her up. All I did was rub her head.
See,
Let me tell you about this kid.
That's what I'm talking
Let me tell you about
about.
this kid. I could
Now
slam
she's staring
doors.
at me.
I could slam doors. I could put on a vacuum. I could do all of that. Let me sweep the floor.
Or crumble up a piece of paper. She wakes up.
Wide awake.
All that other stuff, nothing. Don't even flinch.
These subtle sounds, she's wide awake. Close your eyes. Go back to sleep.
She's like staring at me. It's kind of creepy.
It is though. She
But
does
anyway.
that. Wait, we was in the car yesterday, and she looked back at her just to make sure she was
I just
alright.
looked in the mirror and
And
she was just like.
Sid was like this, staring at her. She be doing some scary shit.
So
sometimes.
what I was saying was we put her in the 0 to 3 month PJs, right? But she couldn't stretch out her legs because she was too long.
She about
for
to be
them.
taller than us.
We're like, when did that happen?
I'm 5'4.5". She over here. She 4'2".
4'2"? I'm not 4'2".
You are 4'2".
No, I'm not 5'2".
You a lie now. You know you like 5 feet.
You said 4'2".
I know you are. Yes, I said 4'2" for a
rounded up.
reason. She
Anyway,
be lying.
no.
She be lying about her height since we met.
No crying. Okay,
No
so
crying in baseball.
yeah, so like it was like overnight she went to not being able to wear 0 to 3, and now we have to put her in 3 to 6 month PJs. We're like, what is going on? So
Yeah,
she's
kids-
definitely growing, and it's just amazing. And
She's a lot of fun. She's
But she
pretty
don't
cool.
have 3 to 6 month feet. Her feet are so small. She can barely wear
Don't
socks.
show your mess, okay? Do not show your rubbish. Do not start it. Thank you much. Yeah, so
I wish I could turn the camera so you can see how she's like laying on me, guys. Like it's just just leave it because then you'll mess it up. Like no, they can't see it.
they can see it. They can
They
see
can't.
it. They
You're
see
not-
it.
No,
Oh,
they can't see it. Anyway, so see, you don't even mess it up. Okay, so anyway, that's All right, let's sit you up so everybody can see you because you're being fussy.
So yeah, you watched her nap, and now she's like, oh.
She needs her pamper changed. Let me tell you, this kid, like, she really only cries when she's hungry or when she's just mad at you. Like, she wants to sit up. She don't want to lay down. Don't treat her like a baby and lay her in the crook of your arm. No, sit me up. I need to see what's going on.
Oh, and like just as a super cool bonus,
Okay.
throughout this whole process, we got a super cool bonus. We found out that
Oh.
Sid has some siblings.
Dibblings, I like to call them. Donor siblings.
Yeah, we won't, kind of put too much detail out there regarding, coordinates and who they are and stuff like that. But it is cool. There is a play date in the making right now for probably later this summer, because there is a sister.
Yeah, she has 2 that we know of.
Right.
One that was born in May 2016.
And one that was born in September.
September?
Yeah, September.
That's when it was, September?
Yep, because they're 2 months apart.
Oh, I thought it was November.
No. 2 months apart. September, October, November. Yeah, it's 2 months. September. We can look back in
I
messages.
think it's November.
I don't think so.
Either way, whatever. So, yeah, so she has 2
We actually
siblings,
haven't
2
talked to her in a
sister
while.
siblings that we know of.
One is on the whole other side of the country, which we probably won't have correspondence with. We don't
Maybe
see that
not,
happening.
but
But
yeah,
there is
over
one
here on
that
the East
is
Coast.
on the East Coast.
So it's cool.
That's pretty close to home, so we'll
Yeah.
probably set that up.
So, yeah, sure.
And they actually resemble, which is pretty cool. They do have resemblance.
You can see, the
You can
donor.
see the difference in the 2 of them, and the mother of that little girl actually wants them to know each other and to kind of grow up knowing who each other are, even growing up close. And we're not opposed to the idea. Like, that little girl is a piece of my kid, and vice versa. So we're definitely open to that option, which a lot of people would think that we're crazy, but I don't at all. I feel like if you could know,
We knew that by doing this way that there was
Right.
the possibility. So.
because we made sure that we actually went on the sibling registry to see what siblings are out there. So it's
Yeah.
good to know.
Matter of fact, I think I haven't checked it lately. I'll check and see if anything else.
Well,
on
we
there.
do know that our donor is sold out. He's done. So that means that he's probably flourished over the United States
Yeah.
and created a bunch of little.
Well, there is a limit They do,
Yeah.
you know, I think like 20 to 25 families or something
Right,
like
he's
that.
tapped out though. He's done.
So they don't have any
Closed.
more.
Sold out.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So yeah,
Anyway.
that's pretty much that was the cherry on top during this whole thing. Like we had found out, like, hey, you got somebody out there.
On the screen.
So that's pretty much it. That's all we have. We apologize for the delay and kind of like, you know, staying on top of this, but the last 6 months for us have been an emotional roller coaster. We have cried, we have screamed, we have fought, we have hugged. I mean, any emotion that any parent or a new parent or a parent of a sick child can have, trust me, we've had it and are probably still having it.
Ooh,
So the one thing that we can say to anybody out there that might have a similar situation or know somebody that's in a similar situation, if you can find like groups on Facebook or forums or just like somebody who you can talk to that might know the situation, talk to them.
And trust me, there's a group for everything you could possibly be going through.
We found groups. We've actually like been asked to be ambassadors of groups. We've been asked to do various different things pertaining to, you know, like everything that we have gone through with her. So I will say, we've looked at different nonprofits for advice. We're even in the process of creating our own nonprofit because we feel like there's so much knowledge that we were able to obtain, regarding this whole process. I will close. I would like to close on this. This little girl, her medical bill came in. Her explanation of benefits, known as EOB. $879,000.
Something like that.
Okay. That was just for her hospital stay for the 98 days.
Yes.
She went back in for 2.
How much was that? That was another 40.
Yeah. She went back in for 2, and then she went back again, but didn't stay. No, the pneumonia she stayed.
Yeah, for the pneumonia she stayed for 2 days.
So she went back in. So when we look at a total, I would like to introduce you to the $1 Million Baby. Okay. But what I will say is that my employer, even though sometimes I'm like, work, but my employer, as of January 1st, they only started taking care of 90% of the medical bills. Before January 1st, it was covered at 100% when you met your deductible. She was born December 1st. She met her deductible her first day. You know what I mean? So December 1st to
then January 1st, she met the deductible immediately.
December 1st to January 1st, she met the deductible and was covered at 100%. January 1st, it was only supposed to be 90%, but she was still in the NICU, so she met her deductible again first day. So she's actually covered now at 100% because we've reached the deductible and the out-of-pocket cost, which is dope. Then the other thing is that we didn't really know what was gonna happen. So since my beautiful daughter over here was born premature, it's actually documented as a disability. So we've actually gone to disability to apply for disability benefits, which we don't qualify for. But they say that you should still do it just so it's documented that you have done it. So we did. We
don't get any income.
We don't get anything, but again, since she has a documented disability because she's considered premature, we applied for medical assistance. And it's not based on your income; it's based on the need. So she did qualify for medical assistance. So whatever my insurance company did not pick up or won't pick up for whatever reason, medical assistance will pick up. So I tell anybody out there, there's a lot, and this is why we are really in the process of creating a nonprofit, because there's so much stuff that we learned along the way through trial and error and just through staying on top of things, being there, asking questions, asking different people things. Don't put my hand down. So, we learned a lot. So I would tell you, if y'all have any questions, like if you know anybody who's gone through this or is going through this and has any questions, hit us up.
We'll whatever we know, you'll know.
We will share it. We will definitely, we will, because that's what gave us our strength, being able to talk to people who've been through it and people who like, you know, different doctors and different nurses, people we could trust. So, dang, you rude.
Say excuse me.
They used to call her a trucker.
She's a good burper.
She's a good burper. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're here. It's a long journey, and it's not as long when you don't travel it alone.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, you know, we did it. We did it as a family. Hold it. Give me some. Ow. Give me some. Ow. You give me some.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or wait, oh God, it's been so long. Sorry. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you have any questions, hit us up and check us out on Instagram, unquantifiable_love.
Spell it out.
UNQUANTI.
You made it out.
FIABLE. I know, but
You haven't spelled it in a while. Spell it again.
Head.
Spell it again.
Unquantifiable. Just copy and paste from.
But she made it up.
I didn't make it up. I mean, it's a real word.
I know, but you made up the name.
Oh no!
Don't look at me like that.
I made up the name because of you. Anyway, unquantifiable_love on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Thanks for watching, and
Hi, Boba. No, this is.
see you later, guys.
Bye, guys.